Good morning, intuitives. This is going to be the first video in a new playlist or series, as you will. I'm going to do other videos like this one, and I want to dive into important songs in my life. So, songs with deep meaning to me, anyway. Well, the meaning is to me. The songs are deep regardless, in my opinion, and how they related to me in a certain time in my life, because as I've mentioned in a previous video, music is very important to INFJs, especially when we're seeking our alone time. Certain music, certain songs at certain times can help us think through things better when we're alone in our hermit-like mode in solitude, trying to recharge or trying to put the pieces of a puzzle together, trying to figure out what we should do next, because we're very forward-thinking people. And I want to start this series off, and heads up, there's going to be a lot of obscure Rush songs in this series. But I want to start off with a song by Rush called Losing It, and it's off of their Signals album. And you'll see that'll be the thumbnail, the album cover. And the album cover will show even more meaning as to why this song hit me so hard a couple times in my life, and it was released before I was born. I believe Signals was released in 1982. It might have been 83, but certainly in the early 80s prior to me being born. So I started listening to Rush a lot around 2004. And as I mentioned in other videos, I tested to become a fire department in multiple departments in 2006, and I got hired by the same department I was later hired for, and you all know what department it is if you watch my videos. And then my offer of employment was rescinded, and I was really never given a reason why that was. I asked, and I asked the chain of command, and I was never really given a reason, and I'm sure I'll never get a full reason to this ever, but to this day I still don't know the reasons behind it. So this song by Rush, like I said, off their Signals album. The album cover, and it'll be displayed, but it's a fire hydrant and a Dalmatian. So you can see right there the firefighter imagery. And the song's about losing your dream. Like, the song talks about basically somebody who reached the goal they wanted to reach, who was living their dream job and then lost it. And the chorus to the song is, some are born to move the world, to live their fantasy, but most of us just dream about the things we'd like to be. Sadder still to watch it die than never to have known it, for we're the blind who once could see, the bell tolls for me. And that hit me hard again in 2013, because around late 2012, when fire departments were beginning to test again, test to be hired after the Great Recession, which put most departments in a hiring freeze for 4 to 6 years, at least in the Mid-Atlantic region, from what I remember. As you know, as I've mentioned, I was shot in April of 2013 and had a long recovery to being able to walk normal again. And the song hit me hard at that time again, because the first verse, it talks about a dancer who, someone who is a dancer and can't be a dancer anymore. And the one part says, and she limps across the floor and closes her bedroom door. So at that time, I thought, I'm never going to get to be a firefighter. Like, I was walking with a cane. Everybody I knew, was throwing Dr. House jokes at me left and right. I even, went as it, just embraced it and dressed up as Dr. Greg House from House for Halloween that year. I had the limp down right, because it was, I can't act, but my limp was real, and so was my cane. So, interesting Halloween. So once again, with everything going on with me unjustly losing my firefighter position after everything that happened, and again, I did videos on it. There's links to the news story that was in print and both broadcasted on the news in the greater Washington, D.C. area, and then I did another video on the more recent news article that was done. So, I'm not going to comment, but they're there. There's much more to the story than that, but take those for what they are. That should give you somewhat of an understanding of what happened in my time in the Arlington County Fire Department Training Academy. So the song Losing It, once again, has become relevant to me because now, once again, I have lost my dream job for the second time. I mean, it's hard, and from the same department nonetheless. It's hard enough to watch your dream die, but, I did it a second time. Like, now this is getting ridiculous because, as I've mentioned before, as INFJs, so much of our self-worth and sense of purpose is tied up in our career because we're idealists who want to make the world a better place, as I've mentioned multiple times. So that's, where I'm at a struggle right now for my sense of purpose and sense of identity. It's unlikely that I could get hired in the IAFF, the Firefighters Union in the United States and Canada, given my civil suit. So I'm kind of have to either decide to give up on that dream or to relocate to an English-speaking country that's not America or Canada, which is what I'm strongly considering, particularly the United Kingdom or the Republic of Ireland. Only time will tell which, if any of those two, I decide, and hopefully, can chase my dream and obtain it. Because all I wanted in life, was to be a professional firefighter and help people to find unconditional love and live in a progressive city. I know, I'm really reaching for the stars there, but it's funny how timing works, because I came of age, during the Great Recession. Most fire departments, you have to be 21 to test. I turned 21 in 2008 when most everybody was on a hiring freeze. It's usually every 2 years. So I tested and got hired, and then it got taken away when I was 19, and that was the last testing cycle prior to when the majority of departments went on hiring freezes for the Great Recession. So, as INFJs, we have to understand that we can't put all of our self-worth into our career. While it is a big part of our identity, it doesn't take away our ability to help people and to cause change. Find little ways that you feel like you can help people. Like, for example, right now I'm trying to help raise, a little bit of money for SAMU for brain injury recovery. Link will be down below. Please, throw a $5 at it. Come on. It would mean a lot to me, and it's for a good cause. I don't see any of the money, but I can't practice as a firefighter EMT right now. And during my time years ago when I first became an EMT at 17 in 2004, I had a couple of brain injury calls, and they're sad. The one still sticks with me today, and this is something that happened in 2005 when I was 18, and I still remember it vividly, and it was one of those events that I saw that I'll never forget due to how just the it's hard to put into words, but just the sadness of it. And even though for anybody that's has been in like the military or law enforcement or the fire service or works in the medical field, as a doctor or a nurse or a tech or whatever, the more you see stuff like that, I guess it gets easier, but especially those ones from early on in your career, those are always going to stick with you. And that's what one of these ambulance calls that was a brain aneurysm is for me. And like I said, this was in 2005, so it's been a minute or two. So I just wanted to give a little video about the song Losing It by Rush. I recommend anybody, INFJ or not, who, put in the work and did everything they were supposed to do to achieve their dream job, and then were essentially cheated out of it, or at least cheated out of it in their opinion, to listen to it. It should help a little bit. It helped me get through some rough times in 2006. I guess it's helping me now. I find it ironic that I'm at the exact same place I was 15 years ago. Just shows you right there how college and getting good grades and graduating with honors and all that doesn't mean shit. In most fields, I feel like like the big push for people of my age and younger to go to college is just to line the pockets of baby boomers because we have to take out loans and pay triple what they paid in inflation adjusted dollars. I know that sounds cynical, but I know a lot of people with decent degrees in decent fields that graduated with decent grades that are waiting tables and landscaping. And, it certainly does feel like we were lied to our whole life about the importance of education. And that's the other part. This video is going on a little longer than I thought, but the other reason why losing it's so important to me is because I had no support in 2006 when I first tested to be a firefighter. My family was totally against me because leaving Chester County is like the cardinal sin to them. To them, Chester County, which is a suburban county about 45 minutes outside of Philadelphia, that's the whole world to them. And, I was essentially, in a lot of ways, shunned for wanting to leave the area as I wanted to do for 20 years now. So if any of you, are struggling with losing your dream job, that song is sad, it's deep, and it'll help your mind process what you're going through. Thank you all for listening. Never sell out your integrity. Always trust your intuition, and please click the link and donate a $5 to Same You. I'm asking nicely. If any of you want to make a bigger donation and want to suggest a certain topic for me to do a video on, leave a comment and I will see if I can accommodate that. Thanks for taking the time.